Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin. Happy 2021. I'm glad we all made it. If you're new here, welcome. Take a look around. Consider subscribing. It's super easy peasy. You just hit that little button down at the bottom and then boom, you're subscribed. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back. Okay, so like a lot of people, I make resolutions and goals for my life, and my reading life is no different. And so I've made a couple of reading goals for this year that I want to hit. So let's get into it. This is my iced coffee. It's the only thing keeping me alive these days. My first goal is to read 80 books this year. Last year, my goal was 70 books, and I hit that, and I actually read 80 books last year. And so I just thought 80 seems like a good number. Let's keep it there, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to hit it, but you know, the world may open up, and I may want to go out and play and be amongst the people, or the world may open up, and my true introvert self will be like, hey, remember, we don't like being out here. Go inside and read some books. We'll see how it goes. My second goal this year is to read 3 presidential biographies. Last year, I actually started this when I read Hamilton a couple of years ago, and then I was like, let's read all of the presidents. So I've read Washington and John Adams, so I'll be continuing with Jefferson because he's the next president in line. So I'm hoping to get to Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe this year, and also an added bonus would be Obama's memoir this year, even though I've already read 2 books from him. So he's just a bonus. He's the best. So I'll read as many books from him as there are. My third goal that I want to do this year is 1 nonfiction book a month. I really enjoy reading nonfiction, but last year I was just not into it. And I read some, but not a lot, not as much as I normally would. And really, I just applauded myself for reading last year, so kudos to me. But this year, I want to make it a priority, so I'm going to make sure that I read at least 1 nonfiction book every month. 4, you can't tell by this one bookshelf behind me, but in my house, I have 116 unread books. And while that's maybe not a lot, maybe it is, for me, it's ridiculous. So I want to get that under 100. And I know you're like, you can read 16 books. Yes, but the thing is, I know me, and I know that I will buy books over the year. So I'm trying to make sure that it just stays under 100. So at no point at all can I ever have more than 116 unread books in this house. I refuse. And so I plan on reading my shelf more, and hopefully I will get well below 100. Another one of my goals is, according to Goodreads, I've been a user since 2013, which means that I have added tons of books to my want to read shelf. Tons. So much, I think there's 3,000 want to read books on there, which is ridiculous. And so I just want to kind of go through, see if I'm still interested in reading some of those books, and just kind of pare it down and really try to read some of those books that I added in 2013 and 2014 instead of just new releases, even though new releases are so tantalizing. And last but definitely not least of these, I need to finish some damn series. I am great about starting series. I may even read the second book in a series, but finishing a series, it's not happening here. But this is the year. This year is the year that I will finish some of the series that I have started years ago. That's a shame. That's a shame that I've started series years ago that have already been finished, and I'm just like, I'll get to it. But this is the year we're gonna finish some series. I already have some series that I know I want to finish for sure, and some series I want to start, but that's not the point. We're gonna finish some of those this year. I know you're wondering like, oh, how is she gonna accomplish these goals? I'm so glad you asked. So this is my January TBR. This is where we're gonna start for the year. We are going to start off with Shadow and Bone, which is a reread for me. It's interesting because I don't typically do rereads, like, ever. Like, all of these books up here, these are like my favorite books of all time, and I don't think I've ever reread Little Women doesn't count. I've reread that like way too many times. And you can't see it, but Chronicles of Narnia, the whole series, I've read that multiple times as well. But yeah, so I am buddy reading this with Dasha from Mythic Pages and Ray from Bookmark Chronicles. So I know it's about to be a jolly good time. I hope it's been a while since I read this. I think so. We'll see if I still like it. Hopefully I will. This is why I don't reread things, because you reread them and then you're like, the fuck was I thinking the first time I read this? Next, I plan on reading A Feast for Crows, which is the 4th book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. Maybe we'll get Winds of Winter this year. I'm not going to hold my breath, but one can dream. So we will be continuing on in this series. I plan on wrapping up the Southern Reach trilogy this month. That is by Jeff Vandermeer, so I'll be reading Acceptance, which is the last book. Previously, in a wrap-up I did, I said I wasn't sure how I felt about the second book, and I still don't know. But I'm hoping that like the third book will tie everything together, and at the end of it, I won't regret having finished this and wishing I had only stopped at the first book. Look at me trying to like move through series and finish them. Proud of me. Goals gonna be reached this year. I'm also continuing in the Throne of Glass series with Heir of Fire. I told myself I was gonna give myself 3 books in this series before I decided whether I liked it or not, whether I was gonna keep going. The first 2 were okay. So we'll see if I like this. It's interesting because I hear a lot of mixed reviews about this particular book, like not necessarily the book itself, but people are like, that's when I stopped reading. Or people are like, those are my favorites. So 3 and 4, I think it's about to be like a really sketch situation for me. I'm either going to keep reading or I'm going to quit the series. We're about to find out. It's going to be a fun ride. Hopefully. I kind of hope I like it enough to finish the series. I will also be reading A is for Alibi by Sue Grafton. A friend of mine gave me this book and was like, I think you're really going to enjoy this. So we're going to find out if I am. Somebody's trying to help someone clear their name after being wrongfully accused of murder. And then like more murder happens. So I'm excited. Like, I don't know what that says about me being excited about like murder, but I'm pretty sure like that doesn't make me a sociopath or a psychopath or anything. Kicking off my presidential series for the year, we're gonna go with Thomas Jefferson by John Mitchum. I feel like I already know Jefferson because we spent so much time talking about him in the Adams biography that it was basically 50% Jefferson, 25% Abigail, and then like the rest were other characters, including John Adams. But anyway, we're gonna go with John Adams. Will I finish this month? Absolutely not. But I will start this off. Hopefully I'll finish this by like March, and then I'll just move on to the next one. I will also be reading Didn't See That Coming by Rachel Hollis. I had put this book on hold months ago. And so Libby was like, hey girl, I think I'm gonna come this month. And just like your period, you're like, all right, well, you better show up. And so I'm not gonna play myself. And so I'm making space in my TBR for this book. I listened to Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Quit Apologizing or Stop Apologizing. And I enjoy them. They're not like profound self-help books or memoirs, but I enjoyed them. There were nuggets in there, so we'll see if there's some more nuggets in this book. Then as a little palette cleanser, I have Furthermore by Dear Mafi, which is a fantasy middle grade. So I think it'll be whimsical and fun and a light kind of read throughout the month. It's a very fantasy heavy month now that I think about it. That's okay. It'll balance out. So we'll read this, and then last but not least is You Can't Touch My Hair by Phoebe Robinson. I think that this is going to be hilarious because she's funny on Two Dope Queens, and I just love her. So yeah, a little nonfiction and a little non-serious nonfiction to ease in to the month. It's kind of an ambitious TBR for me, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully very well. Hopefully I'll like them. Have you read any of these? What are you guys reading this month? What are your goals for the year? Let's talk about it. Leave me a comment in the comments and let's just chat. Until next time. Bye.